And we're back. We're remote because Sophie's in France and I'm in Los Angeles. And we're back with our weekly forecast.
Yay! Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie, your astrologer and celestial guide, and this is
Feeling Kaerhart.
um so I'm excited because this forecast is for July 21st to the 27th. And we usually start with you doing the numerology, but I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot going on cosmically. So I'm like so interested to hear what's going on numerology wise. But please start us off.
And
Kick
by
me
the
off.
way, when Sophie and I do these, we don't know what the other person's going to say. So it's actually really exciting for me. I don't always check the transits. So I love
Yeah.
being informed by you. But this week is one of my favorite numbers. It's a three, which is Sophie's life path number. And three is the number of the communicator. And it's the number of self expression. And it's also nicknamed the sunshine number because of its optimistic view of life. So this is a really, really good week to socialize, to say yes to any party invitations, to communicate. If there are any important conversations that you've been waiting to have, now is the time to have them. Facilitate all of those open and honest conversations right now. I love the look you're giving me, Sophie. Again, express your ideas and connect with others. The three is a really good time to meet new people as well. So if there are people you want to call into your network, either to
Mm.
collaborate with in like a business sense, or just again, if you want some new friends, like a new spiritual buddy, a new spiritual bestie, again, now is the time. Now, the shadow side of the three, though, is important to note. And the shadow side of the three is judgment and gossip, right? So stay away from that if you can. That's not the vibe. You want to lean in more to the joy and the humor of the three and the fun aspect versus again those shadowy traits. So yeah, network, express yourself, go out. This is not a time to stay in and hermit. Go have some fun, go socialize, go communicate, and let your creativity be fully unleashed, right? Because three is the most creative
Yeah.
number. Yeah. So again, if there's like some project you've been wanting to work on, like you
Mm.
want to make a new song, if you want to take a dance class, whatever your heart wants to, any way your heart wants to express itself. Sorry, a little jet lagged here. Go and do that thing. Okay. Go create, go have fun. It's such a creative, fun week. And honestly, like the best times in my life have always been in the energy of a three. So
Duh.
yeah, exactly. She's a life path three. So let's have some fun this week. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Woohoo.
Go treat yourself.
So it was really interesting that you're talking about this like fun energy because this week is a really, really astrologically powerful week. We have the
Okay.
full moon starting us. I mean, we got a lot going on, but we got the full moon starting us off Sunday, July 21st. And I
Mhm.
find this really interesting because this full moon is in Capricorn, both Western and Vedic. And Capricorn is what I
Oh,
call the mean daddy of the zodiac, but like it's very much all about ambition and like it's specifically in the lunar mansion Uttara Shada, which actually translates to later victory. So this full moon specifically is
ooh.
about gathering the rewards of all those previous seeds that you planted, which is very prosperous. And like this specific lunar mansion the full moon is in is also known as a very wealthy. And so this kind of goes in line with this like high vibe of the three.
Yeah,
Uh,
celebration.
yeah, but I do want to warn everyone that this full moon is opposite, or sorry, not opposite, it's conjunct Pluto, which is the planet
Uh,
of deep transformation through destruction. And full moons are all about releasing and endings. And so you might actually kind of experience this like whiplash of like having like a lot of emotional shit come up from the surface. And you're like, oh my God, like what the hell is going on? Like, all those feelings are coming to the surface and you're it's like not a cute fun vibe, and maybe you might be getting into confrontational communications and such. But after you kind of release that, you should be gathering more of what I call the rewards of like this like release. And so that's what I find really really interesting with this like numerology 3 energy going on and this full moon.
Well, the
So
three can be very emotional as well. And I said that in my
mhm,
book that, sometimes the three it's usually a fun celebration, but sometimes it also will kick up some emotions and be this
mhm,
emotional, like deep, heavy conversations that you're having to
mhm,
go through, right? Because it is this light and shadow of communication. But I also want to remind everyone that typically the culmination of the full moon is the
mhm,
ending of whatever happened on that new moon. So if you look back to Capricorn season, what was happening during the new moon in Capricorn, that might give you a hint as to what might be coming to an end or coming to fruition with this full moon in Capricorn.
mhm. Yeah, so it's really interesting that this, like I said, it literally translates to later victory. And
Mm,
Capricorn is the workhorse. It's Capricorn work goat, more like Capricorn's all about reaping the rewards of like hard work. And so whatever seeds were planted 6 months ago during
mm,
that new moon in Capricorn, like you should expect some of those fruits of labor finally popping up. And so, I would even say like expect positive things to come through for you as well, not just emotional release, because full moons are all about releasing and healing and all that kind of stuff and closure and wrapping things up. So that's what I find really interesting about this full moon and the fact that it's conjunct this super powerful planet,
mhm.
Pluto, is just giving a lot of magnified energy. And I don't know about you, but like I've already been feeling the full moon
Oh,
vibe with weird dreams and like emotional stuff coming up to the surface and feeling just very, all the feels, as we like to say. So that is definitely the first thing off the bat. We are starting with July 21st, Sunday. Mark your
big
calendars,
bang.
everyone. Yeah. And then Monday, July 22nd, we have the Sun trine Neptune, which is a really positive aspect. So
Oh,
yeah, that the sun is obviously your ego, your identity. It shines, it magnifies, it really goes well nicely with a 3 kind of energy. And then Neptune is the planet of inspiration, it's creative. And so when it's an aspect together, Sun trine Neptune, you have this burst of creative energy, which goes very nicely with this 3 energy you're talking about. For that's all right after the full moon on Monday. Now, Tuesday, July 23rd, we have the sun opposite Pluto, which makes sense
oh
because,
my God.
right, if you have the full
What a
moon, it's
roller
like,
coaster.
I know, right? It's like, what? That's why it's kind of like, oh my God, there's so much going on. You're gonna get whiplash. But like, it makes sense because if the Pluto is conjunct the moon and full moons, the moon is always opposite of the sun. So of course this opposition was going to happen. And so it's almost kind of like once you emotionally kind of are purging, the
Mm,
moon is the inner world, the sun is the outer world. And so you're going to find that this is going to test your ego. So all your purging and shit coming up Sunday is really going to kind of have this like impact on like the outer ego that starts to get registered Tuesday. It takes a couple days. And so when the sun is opposite Pluto, Pluto is a planet of deep transformation through destruction. It's in opposition of the sun. And so you're meant to have an
mm.
egoic transformation. And that's really supposed to kind of tear down any bullshit that you're clinging to, that your ego's clinging to. I know, right?
Tear it down. Just tear it down.
This is me bitch
Level
slapping.
it out.
This is me slapping the ego out of you like this, right? This is Pluto.
Goodbye. Whoosh.
I'm loving the
Yeah.
effect.
Our sun is our identity too, right? So there's going to be that identity transformation, or maybe like an epiphany of like, oh, wait a minute, I've been doing things this way, and I view
Hmm.
myself as this one thing, but maybe you're so much more than
Hmm.
that one thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And so this is honestly a great week to have these like massive spiritual breakthroughs, but egoic identity breakthroughs as well as like, oh my God, like this is the pathway I'm supposed to be on. And that really goes along with creatively exploring in that 3 energy you're just talking about. And then last but not least, Friday, July 26th, we have the moon conjunct North Node, or as I call Rahu. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
That's
And it's
not so
not like a
bad.
major,
A little
yeah, it's not
emotional.
a major, like kind of whammy like the sun opposite Pluto or the full moon.
Ooh.
But this just tells me anytime you have karmic activation, no, sorry, karmic nodal activation, because the North Node is the karmic node, you have like destiny, karma, and these fated pathways opening up for you. And so it's almost kind of like pay attention to the events of what happened this week because fate, destiny are playing a role. And so this isn't a bad thing at all. It's more of just it's like a cue of like, hey, there's divine intervention happening in a massive way where you need to take note and pay attention. So that is how we're going to end our week. So it is kind of this jam-packed cosmic week of a roller coaster where we're starting off a little crazy and emotional. We're getting inspired, our egos being torn down, and then we're having, you know, God and the universe and fate just really riding us out into the sunset. That's our roller coaster.
Yay.
You seem so excited. You seem thrilled.
Phew, I'm a little jet lagged, so I'm a little tired, but oh wow. I honestly had no idea how spicy this week was going to be. This is a lot.
I mean, we were just talking about how spicy your life is getting. So are you really that surprised?
That's true. But that's on a personal level. So I was like, it can't be this spicy for everybody. But you're
I
telling
think
me
it
that
is.
it is. So
I think it
y'all are
is.
going through the spice. I am too. Let us know in the
Mhm.
comments how spicy things are. Drop us a little jalapeno, one for a
Yes.
little spice, four for extra picante.
Yes. And if you guys like our forecast, please subscribe to Kaerhart's channel. We are going to be doing this on a weekly basis. And I always love chatting with you because I don't know what the number is. And
Yeah.
it gives me extra context of like, oh,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is like an added vibrational energy of what I can be aware of. But yeah, so that is our week. And stay tuned for next week. Hopefully, it's not as spicy, but you'll find out.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody. I believe in us. See you next week.
Bye.